Welcome back to L5 Star FC. It is a Premier League post-match show, but obviously I'm joined by Salah yet again to go over Leeds. It wasn't the best result. Obviously, we'll touch on that, but there is an issue that we want to address beforehand. But actually, before we start this video, before we actually start talking about the Super League that you've probably heard a lot in the past 48 hours, please hit the subscribe button to L5 Star FC. We'll be keeping you up to date on the European Super League and more contract situation, anything related to Liverpool. Hit that subscribe button. Also subscribe to Klopp Talk TV. It's my personal channel. The links will all be in the bio as well. So to do that, let's try and get 30 likes on this video. But Salah, we'll start with you. How are you doing, mate? And then we'll go into the Super League, mate. How are you feeling after the Leeds result, which was quite frustrating?
Um, to be honest, if I speak for most LFC fans there, that on Twitter, on Instagram, everywhere, that the majority of Liverpool fans didn't give a shit about this game. Because I think I had so many Liverpool fans text me saying, "Are you going to watch this game? Are you going to watch that game?" I said yes, because although it's not the players' fault, this is what got to do with the owners. They said they weren't going to watch the game, but that just shows that what these owners have done to this club now, that they have got the Liverpool fans, they have taken the love out of the game now. And it's just standing. But over to the game, I think first half, I think we were good. I think we were forcing Leeds to stay in their own half, playing them the long ball, and we could win it back easily due to our area defence. And then we just kept on pressing. I think intensity was good. And then that was good work by Trent to get that assist, and we got the goal in the first half. And I'm not going to go too in depth about the second half because I didn't watch it, but I think second half, I don't think we should have sat deep. We let Leeds have the ball, and we're lucky that they didn't score more chances, but I think we did have an Ox chance, and we had some other chances there. Again, we just need to be clinical more. And performance-wise, it's a 50-50, but other than that, nothing else.
Yeah, it was much of a 50-50 performance in the sense that, you're playing well first half. Actually the first 15 minutes of that first half, I was actually, it was reminiscent of that Real Madrid first game. We were struggling to keep hold of the ball, but we did settle it down. We were playing it round, and obviously Trent got that assist. Obviously the Mane goal. I did actually celebrate that goal. A lot of Liverpool fans actually didn't celebrate that goal. And I just want to say, before we actually go into player ratings, on this Super League and whatnot, I think it's an absolute shambles. It's a disgrace. I'm appalled to be a Liverpool fan at the minute right now. I've seen reports that we could be pulling out, but it still doesn't do us justice in the fact that we've put our names forward for this, just for more money. It wrecks the whole. It's
the whole the all. Sorry if it's just pure greed. All the owners just want their money. They don't give a shit about the fans. They don't care. They don't know that for fans are the lifeline of football. Without fans, your football club is nothing. It's being proved. We don't need to prove it for you. Now we are proving it for you more, because we had the protesters outside Ellen Road yesterday where the LFC team bus came in and the Leeds and Liverpool fans ran to the bus, and you've had protests at Manchester City, Manchester United. Now it's our turn as football fans to all unite together and show these greedy bastards that money is not everything, and football does mean a lot to us. But I think, as you said, right now it's appalling to be a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I think a lot of the rants and the protests were, I think, directed in the wrong. Could have been directed better. I think a lot of the players had I think in the town, Klopp said in the city that they were getting shouted by fans, and it's not the players. This Super League is based on 6 individuals upstairs who don't even know anything about the whole culture of English football, where it's originated from, the history behind it.
Literally,
Go on, Salah.
I don't even know what the offside rule is. He literally said he needed 2 years to learn the offside rule, and he still doesn't know it. These owners, there's not a single owner that's passionate about football there. You could say Florentino Perez, but Florentino Perez is a dickhead. No one likes him.
He's a liar, bro. He's a liar, bro. He says 16 to 24-year-olds are not interested in football anymore. What is this guy even on? Like, no word of a lie, right? He also said the only reason he's saying football is because Spain is corrupt. They're like 900 million in debt at the minute. They're not trying to build us. They're trying to just save them. And by us pulling out, if we do pull out, we will, in technicality, or we could potentially become like them because they have something on us with whatever bloody thing we've signed. So it's a matter of, it's so frustrating. I think it makes me feel sick when I think about it. And I think a lot of people yesterday, before going into that football game, were not even really concerned about the football game. I was actually looking quite excited about it in the fact that I thought it'd take my mind off it a little bit, in the sense that it's just a game to watch. It's just a game to watch.
It's not even that. Is the way you should. Joe Glazer, Avram Glazer can go and suck their mums. Stan Kroenke, he's not even. He hasn't gone to one Arsenal game in 3 years. And then you have Daniel Levy, some little egghead, and then you have who else? Then you have Chelsea, Roman Abramovich. The only one.
Sheikh El Mansour.
The only soft spot you can kind of have for is Manchester City and Chelsea's, because not Chelsea, sorry, Manchester City's, because Manchester City weren't talked about all the day it was announced until very, very late at night. City were announced, so maybe they had the last 10 decisions, but I don't think no. But I think none of those owners have any football, and the way that bastard John Henry has announced Super League, he did it the day before the game. It's just shocking. We're trying to get top 4. If the players had known about this, I think the players would have had an extra motivation. But now they had that the whole game in the back of their minds. We might not even play.
He probably doesn't even know that we have a game for 4th. He said that clouded. They don't even know, bro. They don't even know.
It's just shocking, man. But I think we're going a bit topic. I think we should stay to the Leeds game.
Yeah, that's very true. I think a lot of people can agree to us in the element that it is frustrating. There's a lot of ways you can talk about it, and I'm definitely ashamed. I'm definitely FSG out at the moment. I'm FSG out now until they go. Look, we'll stick to the Leeds game. Obviously, Mane popping up with a goal. Obviously, on a goal drought. How do you think this will go and affect his confidence? Because he's been in a bit of a rough patch. Sticky obviously had COVID early in the season. How do you think this will? Do you think this will give him enough confidence here on in to really put a stamp for that left wing position? Because it's been under scrutiny, isn't it, over the past month or two?
Hopefully, he does. Not guaranteed, because he's scored a goal and he's just dipped again. But I think when that went in, it looked like it was going right at the post, and I was just shitting my pants. But thankfully, that went in. I think it was. I'm gonna give credit to Mane. Right place, right time, good positioning. He scored the goal, so you can't really ask more. But hopefully, if we do play these last 6 games, it's gonna be maybe it will be a confidence boost, maybe not. But hopefully, it does going into Manchester United, because as you know, that's rivalry, and no one wants to lose a game. So hopefully, he takes that confidence into United.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you. And obviously Trent bagging an assist, another stellar performance from Trent in what has been a turbulent few weeks for him. Obviously, we'll move on to the midfield. Obviously, James Milner come out against his boyhood team, Leeds United. How do you think he played out on the night? Obviously, we will go into player ratings, but we'll go on James Milner. We'll just get your thoughts on him and how you thought he played last night.
I think he was looking at these stats and the way I saw him play in the first half. I don't think he was that bad. I think he was all right. But then again, you don't expect, ability-wise, you don't really expect anything from James Milner. You just expect, like, he can bring that to the table sometimes. Like, I'm not undermining his ability. He is the top assister in the Champions League for a single campaign. He has the most assists. So I'm not undermining his ability. But now, what else does he have left to offer except for intensity and leadership qualities? And I think, again, yesterday, ability-wise, it was the great, but he was pushing that midfield intensity-wise, not ability-wise, but I think he was decent. He wasn't that bad.
Yeah, very, very good point you made there about Milner. Obviously, Alisson was called into action a few times as well, made up some good saves, and really kept us in the game for that second half until the very last moment. It would go into the second half because that does move us swiftly onto the second half. We did drop much deeper in that second half, and we allowed them to play with the ball. They had 71% of the ball. We had 29% of the ball. And it looked like we were just going to try and defend for our lives. Obviously, no Nat Phillips last night. Fabinho did step back into defence. We haven't really touched up upon that. Obviously, with these Super League talks, and that really got clouded. I think on any normal given day, we probably would have been talking about it a little bit more. But obviously, sat deep, inviting Leeds on the break. But when you let Leeds come forward, they leave a lot of space in behind. That's the way they play. They play high risk football, and we did. We got chances. We got counter attack after counter attack. Robertson leading one charge at a certain point in that second half. We had Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. We had Salah, who obviously come on in the last 15 minutes. You had Mane. You had Firmino. You had a few counter attacks. You couldn't really kill the game off, and it was just crying out for Leeds to stay in that game, and they scored that equaliser. And I don't think it really meant anything, or as much as it probably would have. But how do you think this Leeds goal? Obviously taking a point from this in a crucial top four bid. Obviously Chelsea play tonight, and your likes of Southampton play and Spurs play tomorrow. How do you think that the Reds will react from that? Because it's 2 points lost, more than 1 point gained, in my opinion. Go on, you speak about that and how that will affect the running going into the end of the season.
Oh no, let's see. I really don't know. I think the way all these fans, all the Liverpool fans are acting, that they don't give a fuck about the league, I don't really blame them, to be honest. In regards to the Super Leagues, because the Super League does mean that we got the Premier League and the Champions League next season, which is heartbreaking. But I think if you take it in a normal stance that we do go to the Champions League next season, I think this is a blow in the top four. Not a big blow, is because there's only 1 point between Chelsea. Hopefully they lose today, and only 2 points adrift to West Ham. So I think it's not a massive blow compared to a loss. But I think points dropped in the top four race is going to affect you. So it's quite sad that we did drop it, especially that being so late in the game. But hopefully there will be a reaction against Manchester United.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, we do have Newcastle first. We obviously have to get a result there.
Oh, they have Newcastle?
And yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think we have Newcastle 12:30 Saturday, and then Man United the following week. But yeah, mate, I think this obviously talks about a points deduction and all this talk. If obviously we were to stay in the league and play with the Super League in midweek, but we may not even get top four, or we may even not get European football next year with that points deduction if that comes into place. Do you think the players will think that in their mind, or do you think they'll be thinking, right, let's just get this 6 games done and dusted, win every single one, or put in a decent fight, 5 wins, 1 draw, whatever you have to do. Your one bad performance from losing this top four, it's done. If we have one bad performance, lose that 3 points, the margin for error is so small. How do you think the Reds will be going into this last 6 games? Because it's massive, but it's undermined now. But how do you think that the Reds will be feeling in that Liverpool camp?
I think the mentality club has installed that no nonsense, don't care what the people outside are saying, which was evident when everyone was ever going to win the league. They all stayed silent. But I think the players, they just have to stay professional, because they know if they talk about the owners will look bad at them. And not, let's be honest, as a professional football player, you don't want to look bad in front of your owners. So I think, as I said, the players just need to stay professional. If they play good, and if they play bad, then they should just come off that pitch saying that we put all the effort in and we were on the pitch, and sadly couldn't get the result. So I think, but the way I look at it is just whatever you can win, and if we lose, we lose.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, we'll go into player ratings now. It was a disappointing night in Elland Road. But we'll start with the goalkeeper, Alisson Becker. I'm going to go a 7.5 out of 10. I thought he made some good saves, really kept us in that game for a lot of that second half in particular. But we'll go for you for Alisson Becker. How do you feel he fared? Obviously, he's got clean shaved the beard, he shaved the back and sides, looking fresh. Ali in goal. What would you give him? What rating would you give him?
I give him a 7.5 as well. I think he was good. I think stats prove that he's good commanding his area, but I think generally when I saw him in the first half, he made 2 good saves, and I think later on, what you're saying, that he did make a couple of good saves, I think he deserves 7.5.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Obviously, we're going to the back for Trent Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, Ozan Kabak, and Fabinho. I thought Trent did really well, in particular last night, really channeling that diagonal ball really well. I'm going to give him a 7.5. I'm going to give Robertson a 7. Felt he was running, but I didn't feel like, Robert's always in the game. He's never out of the game. But I felt like Trent gives that little bit more in attack, and he was astute in defence as well. So I've gone for Robbo for a 7, and the two centre halves. Ozan Kabak I thought was really, really good last night. I don't know if you agree, but I felt he was good. I think he was worthy of a 7, along with Andy Robertson and Fabinho. I think you know what you get with Fabinho. You get a solid performance. He did make a few errors, but I'm going to give him a 7 and give him the benefit of the doubt. But what are your back four ratings for this one, Salah?
I'll go Trent 8. And again, well, all those people that are saying that Trent can't defend, because again, yesterday, he was great. He was solid defensively. I haven't seen him wrong. He had very good interceptions. He got 4 interceptions. Made the most tackles in the game. 7 recoveries. He was good. So I think Trent was my man of the match, and I'd give him an 8. And Fabinho, as you said, I think, to be honest, if he did make a mistake, you couldn't really blame him on it much, as we know that he's crucial to that CDM. But again, I don't think he's played it since the RB Leipzig game, second legs, which is like been 2 months. So if he did come to centre back, let's be honest, he was going to be rusty. But I think a 6.5 is fair enough for him. And then Ozan Kabak, I swear this guy is actually a mountain. I predicted it the day he came in that he would be a very, very good defender for us. People saw Leicester, people saw Everton, called him up straight away. You don't do that with a football player. You give a football player time. And he certainly proved us Liverpool fans wrong over time. And he's been exceptional. I think if we can, although I want Ibrahim Konate and Ozan Kabak together as a pair, I don't think these stingy bastards will ever do that. They will never buy 2 centre backs in one market. But I think Ozan Kabak's great. If we don't get Konate, I would fairly be happy with Ozan Kabak. I would give him a 7.5. Andy Robertson, I'll give him a 7. I think he was decent. I think defensively, maybe getting caught out of position sometimes, but I think attackingly he was decent as well. So 7's fair.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And the midfield, James Milner, Gini Wijnaldum, and Thiago Alcantara. Thiago, I felt, had a decent game last night. I felt like a sound little game for him. Look, not as good as we would want at this point in the season, but he's a bit like a James Milner in the fact that you're not getting a poor performance, but you're not getting a stellar performance as well. He's middle of the road, and I think James Milner reflects that usual rating that we do give James Milner. I think for James Milner, I've gone for a 6.5 or 7. I think 7 for James Milner. Thiago Alcantara, I'm going to go with 7. Same with him. And Gini Wijnaldum, 6.5. I didn't feel like Gini was getting in the game at all last night. Obviously coming in areas, but still, you know what you're going to get with Gini, and obviously with Fabinho in that number 6 role, he's going to drop slightly deeper. He's going to go into that number 6 role, and we all know that Gini's better on the 8. So, look, I'm going to give him this one game off, but when he's back in that 8th, he better prove that here on in that he deserves that Liverpool shit, because I think these games are important, and if he's not going to give his all and his head's not going to be in the right place, I don't want to play him. Just the cult hero that he is, the goals that he scored. I don't want to play a player whose head's somewhere else. But we'll go to you, Salah, on the midfield 3 in Thiago Alcantara, James Milner, and Gini Wijnaldum.
As I said, it's a preview. Thank you, Barcelona. Thank you for the Middlesbrough goal that got top 4. But please just go on. It's been enough. It's saying there's only good place he's good on, and that's the bench. He shouldn't be playing for Liverpool Football Club anymore. This level we deserve not player that's always going forward, because I've seen that times. Forward, it's like early in the game, I think 14th minute, going forward, and then he had the chance to play in Diogo Jota one-on-one with I'm not sure who the hell their left back is, Alioski. Dingly dangling, all he does back to Robertson. Just annoying. I really hope that if we do proceed with the Super League and we get the money, please, just even even if you can afford it, he does not deserve to be on 200k a week. How can this guy be on 200k a week? And if he does get, I'll never ever understand this club. But again, people can say about his reliability, he's good, reliable, but ability is just absolutely awful. I think Thiago was the better of the three. I think we could really see what he can do with Henderson and Fabinho in his on his side. I think we just don't have the luxuries of that right now. But I think he was decent. I think Milner was okay as well, not poor, not that good as well. But I'd give Genie a 5 and Milner a 6 and
Fair
Thiago a
enough.
7.
Fair enough there, Salah. We'll go to up top in Mane, Jota and Salah. Jota, another poor performance from him. Or not so much poor, but really quiet from him. Not hitting the heights that he did against Arsenal. We've seen over the past few games that he has dipped in form. But I think he's worthy of a 6 out of 10. Mane, who got the goal, a little bit similar from Mane, is he starts well and he does die away. But the fact that he scored a goal, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to go with 7 for Mane. And Firmino, I think, honestly, bro, it's so frustrating when you see him fall over and just try something and it doesn't work and his touch isn't on point and he'll try a shot and then it'll go wide and it'll go flying over the bar. And it's like you want it all to work for him, but he just everything he tries just doesn't seem to connect at the minute. And look, I'm going to give him a 5.5 based on his effort because he was trying to contribute to the game, but not a great performance from him. But we move. Front three for you, Salah. What were you saying?
I'll give Jota. I think he was good. Give him a 6.5. I think that pass was very good. So the first goal, I think the awareness and generally his passing is not very good. As us Liverpool fans say that Thiago improved his passing, that pass was good. But I think generally I don't think he was the best. I don't think that's the Diogo Jota we've seen this season. But players have bad games, average games and good games. No player has good games for the whole season. It's just football. Firmino, I don't know, man. It's just we know what Bobby can do. It's just being so inconsistent now that one game is just fantastic and the next two is just poor. And if we're serious, we would quit the Super League and go and buy another striker that can actually finish like a Patson Daka, Daniel Malen. Not too big, but just quality, and then Klopp can improve them. But I think Firmino, I don't know, let's just see. Mane, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Like you said, popped up with the goal. 7's fair enough for Mane. Just needs to stay in the game. I don't know why you start off 20 minutes strong. I think the reason he starts off the first 20 minutes strong is because I think the opponents don't know how Mane is going to attack them. Later on, 40-minute mark, the defender knows, which is why.
Hello. You there, mate? All right, okay. Well, unfortunately, Salah has cut off there. So we'll have to end it there. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. We'll be keeping you up to date with all the European Super League news. No worries at all, Salah. Were you interrupted by?
I just said that Mane should be less predictable when it gets to the last stages of the games because defenders just know what he's going to do. That's why I think he fades away.
Yeah, I agree, mate. And as we were wrapping up the video, please hit that subscribe button to Klopp Talk TV. The link will be in the description. Road to 1K is truly on that channel. But also subscribe to L5 Star FC. We will be giving you the latest updates for the European Super League and giving you all the information that you need to know ahead of what will be a pivotal few months in knowing whether we'll play Premier League, Champions League, or we'll play in this breakaway European Super League. But we will discuss that for another day. We'll save that for another day. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you all soon. And remember, guys, you'll never walk alone. take that into every day, guys. Just keep your heads up, and we'll be back soon with another video.